Hello. So we're going to do our midnight vlog. There's a lot of things you guys need to know about the graphics, interactions, and the fact that that person right there isn't this person right here. And you'll figure that out as you actually do your makeup. So this is a representation of me, but actually isn't me. So as we vlog, I'll tell you how we figured it out. It's by doing hair. So you can check like 40 times. You'll be like, nope. So whatever's in there isn't what's out here. However, I can talk to you. So I'm not sure what you'll see, but we wanted to discuss a few things. That's one of them. So as we vlog, congratulations, 5,000 views. Why the views? It's for profiling. People want to do profiling. They want to figure out how to be whoever you are. So it includes your clothes, your brands, your identity, your mannerisms, and AI. So remember, whatever you're seeing there isn't an exact, true representation of what we actually have. And I'll tell you how we figured that out. A long time ago, it was 1998. We were doing things just like this. We were doing video production and content creation. And it was a long time ago. You guys may remember being in school, so we did it all in school. Just because it's a Windows 98 based computer doesn't mean anything. So they wanted me, quote, quote, to vlog for you to help some of you guys out with some of your perceptions about what things are. As an example, we were talking about constructors earlier, and that's on another channel. So a constructor's from object-oriented programming. And in 1968, that's about where computer science ended. And everyone was a computer scientist, and no one wanted to do anything after that because they said, well, it's going to advance just a little bit, and there's not going to be any money in it. And that was sort of true, but as you know, we've moved far beyond constructors at this point. And those people that published those papers, which is a very important thing for you, they're not around anymore. So if you go find those papers, read those papers, and understand those papers as they're published and all of that, you'll see that we live in a totally different world. And why would I even spend my time talking to you about any such nonsense? Well, it's not actually for a lot of you. It's only for a few of you. And that's because of when we are. So we're going to cover from constructors something called ASIC. So ASIC means application specific integrated circuit. Now, why would we ever talk about that? I love technology. I've been doing technology since disking a field. We used to take out our discs, make sure the edges were really clean, and then spin it up, right? I know that's probably not the coolest thing, but that's technology, right? That's a form of technology. So imagine being able to reinvent the disc again. That's pretty cool. So with an application-specific integrated circuit, it's a circuit, okay? So not all circuits have to be powered. They could be complete, as an example. Not all circuits have to be complete. And this has to do with what's known as radio transmission. So if you're really, really into technology, you'll see that this serves as a basic capacitor, but it's not holding electricity, it's holding a liquid. More on that later in terms of storage of energy. So when we get to ASIC, and like I said, this is only for a few of you, not all of you. And that's because some of you may not actually be able to see how big things are, and that's all right. So it's circuit, it's application specific, it's integrated. So if you really think about those terms and definitions, you can go look up some of the papers that were published on them. You'll see that it's like a string of lights or your common electric grid. They still do computation. So when you're doing computation with an ASIC, As an example, we have our proverbial water port there. So that's an ASIC, and we can look at it, inspect it, register it. So we've already did a few things. We could probe it. We could open the gate. It's currently closed. Isn't that amazing? It's also under pressure, all right? So that's an ASIC, application specific integrated circuit. It doesn't work on electricity. So with another sensor, we can read from that point, right? So there's a bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of them. Like I said, it could be a string of lights. It could be your utilities outside. It could be your mailbox. Your mailbox includes a registry. So it has an address, right? But it also has a display. It has a port in the form of a lid or a front. And it has a post, usually. So application-specific integrated circuits are pretty cool, but they're not your typical modern-day computer, right? So in modern-day computing, we think of a power supply, a cord, maybe a GPU, maybe some RAM. So if you really start to look at things, you'll understand that computing goes way far back. But it depends on the type of computer you're looking at. We used to have a mechanical computer that would work on, as an example, tines or gears, and the number of teeth on the unit would determine the output. And so as we increased the complexity of those shapes or gave it more teeth, it would compute even more things, all the way to what we call a decimal point or a float point value. So when we're looking at application-specific integrated circuits, it's the future now, right? So everything's an application-specific integrated circuit. The key point is integration, right? So sometimes they're really, really small. As an example, the tab here, application-specific integrated circuit, because it's complete. And it does a thing, right? But they don't do many other things. So the question is, can you take a given, and this is like, say, a Turing machine. Can you take a given Turing machine and solve the halting problem? Can you take a given application-specific integrated circuit or an ASIC and do something else with it? Now, it's sort of where we are right now. So if you go look at your sign outside, you may see that it has a message, but remember, it's doing graphics as well. And it also has like a scrap value. It also has, a height, position, mass, but it also may be full of holes on that post. So this vlog's only going to be about ASIC, but we're going to talk about a lot of things, and we may have to talk about them for a long, long time. And it's so that I can transfer knowledge to you and some of your other friends, whoever they may be, or maybe some of your not friends. And that's because I predate the internet. When I was a little boy, the internet, the World Wide Web, was founded. Now, it already existed. It served for communication between universities and research institutions and things like that. But in the 90s, it was officially codified and publicly available. So, like I said, for a lot of it could be the road. The road is an ASIC, application-specific integrated circuit. Anyways, I like to do this out here, and I say we because whoever that is, it isn't specifically me, but they look like me. And however they're in front of you, well, that's some of the magic behind computer science in this day and age. We're also going to go all the way up to what is space, dimension, and I accidentally created a new form of life, non-biological, thinking, seeing, sensing, feeling, growing, reproducing, living, breathing silicate. So, sorry about that, everyone. I didn't specifically mean, so it's the, the whole Pandora's box thing. And we could cover the history there. We could recite, not recant. We're not going to do recant. Recite the story of Vulcan, or Hephaestus, and his machine machinations. Also, let's see here, for a lot of you guys, where we're currently at. So Bungie released Marathon recently. That's pretty cool. Tau Ceti 4, planet of murderous robots, hell-bent on, so it's after the 4, right? And the whole station, the whole ship got totally destroyed. Those are really, if you guys know about cussing, those are really bad words. 4. Oof. The Spit and the Cur, the Spit Cur. So for a lot of you, this is going to be way too nerdy. And later on, we'll just be doing lifts for the ladies. Seeing how much we can change the monster inside of all of you. But welcome to the future for you guys. In the future, we have really, really good science that helps you modulate or regulate just about everything. So ASIC, there's a chemical, right? Chemical liquid. It'll modulate or regulate your mood. We'll cover a lot of stuff. So someone just wanted me to do content for you guys. And I'm like, all right, where do you want me to start? And this was a legitimate question. And from that, we spun up many companies. And that's all they do. They just talk about things on a script. Mine's going to be ad lib. They wanted me, quote, quote, to get to know you. And for you to, quote, quote, get to know me. This is a generalization of what I look like, but hopefully many of you will find some of this interesting. A lot of you are probably way beyond this point, but I wanted to start tonight's vlog on ASIC. If you can hear the train, it's totally automated. So welcome to the totally automated future, where as soon as you step out your door, there's some sort of action, scripting, or behavioral encounter that's just like out of the video games. So I hope a lot of you have a good night. We'll talk more later. Cool, 5,000 views. We'll go all the way. But this is a really, it's going to be a very intensive channel. Later on, they'll be like, so can you revisit some things and then just give us like the three points and blah, blah, blah. No,